for the camera.
Dee Dee. Come on.
No, okay.
Every time. She's very lax today. It's cool. Say hey, baby.
Alright guys, well, that's the house. You've seen what we do in the office, and that's been where we get most of our content in, but this is where we get the energy to make the content. So.
Yeah, we got a comment saying we should do a house tour.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of the PFP podcast. It's been quite a while since episode 2, but we have been doing a bunch on the channel and a bunch in just life in general. So we're going to talk about that here in this intro. But we thank you guys for sticking around, and we've had a lot of great feedback on all of the videos that we've posted since episode 2. I know that I put out the entire NFL preseason series, and we've gotten a bunch of comments IRL and in the comment section about those. We put out the cooking video with Hayley. We put out the fall decor video. What else?
I think that was it. And the sour strips, maybe?
Yeah, I don't remember if that was before or after episode 2.
Cooking? You said cooking.
Yeah. We've had a bunch of videos go up since episode 2. It's just been really easy to do those on the side, you know.
Vlog.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the vlog. That was a good one. But anyway, we've done a bunch of videos on the channel since episode 2, but we found that we wanted to sit down and do episode 3. So here we are.
Sunday evening before making dinner.
Yeah. You want to talk about everything that's been going on in life lately?
Yeah, sure. I'm obviously in my super busy season right now because I'm an athletic trainer, so I work with all the sports, but football season is full swing right now, so I'm just trying to power through it because there's just a lot going on. And then in addition to that, I've got volleyball and basketball starting to ramp up because they've got scrimmages coming at the end of the month. So I got 4 sports going at one time, so I'm spread pretty thin. But once football season ends, I'll kind of have a little bit more time, which is good because that's right around the holidays. So it's a good time to slow down. And I've just been trying to put all my energy into us and how I can help you with school and everything, and then with Dee Dee, and just as much as I can seeing friends. I just know that I'm so busy. I really haven't seen that many people anyways, but I try to make time when I can. So that's pretty much what's been going on with me. Just a lot of stress, but that's okay. It's part of the job. It's just the busy time. So. The
very busy time.
Yeah.
And then I've been juggling school and work as I do. Getting near the end of that part of the journey, but it is tough because trying to do a lot all at one time, and just is what it is. So
when he's not doing work, he's doing school, and when he's not doing school, he's doing work.
Yep, just always something that needs to get done. So
yes,
just part of it.
Yep.
But so, I mean, that's really, in a nutshell, without going into the gory detail, that's what's been going on with us since we recorded the last podcast episode. We just wanted to say thanks up top for all the good support that we've had, and hoping to keep that going for this episode of the podcast and all the videos that are on the way. So we'll give you updates on social when we have them, and keep you guys involved when we need to. But you want to go ahead and introduce the main topic for our podcast today?
Sure. We're going to talk about just marriage advice. It was one of the topics that we had picked as one of our next ones we were going to talk about. We figured it would be something that people would like to hear about, just relationship in general, and then how that's progressed into our marriage. And I feel like there's a lot that we could go into, but especially now that he's in school, and that like kind of changes things, how we've had to handle things versus how it was this summer. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So I mean, up top, we wanted to talk about what you just brought up, like how we adapt the relationship when we're both super busy. Because I mean, it's really easy to foster a good relationship when you've got a lot of free time to use in that. But you know, we were talking off camera about all the things that we need to do just to keep things going whenever we're both super busy, and all of our external energy goes to all the projects that we're involved with right now for school, for myself, and work for both of us. So
yeah,
I wanted to talk about that to start.
The signs, you can see it, so I'm gonna make sure you can see.
Yeah.
Cute little quote.
Yeah, but I mean, we wanted to just bring up, like, I mean, it is a challenge to make sure that you're adapting your time to fit the other person's needs and not compromise anything that's super important. But I mean, just goes to show that we're still learning. Like, it's not a static thing.
We're not perfect. We don't try to be perfect or pretend that we are. But I feel like we have a very good, solid relationship, and so if we're able to help other people, I think that would be great. I think I would say the main thing in general, no matter if it's long distance like we were, if it's here, if he's in school, is just, I think, good communication. I think that's one of the most important things, because if you don't have good communication, then you can't understand each other and what each other needs or wants. Like, because what he needs is different than what I need, and so if we don't voice that, then, and we still, I mean, the other day I did voice something to him and I got aggravated with him, and he was like, well, how was I supposed to know that? And I was like, I don't know, I just wanted you to know, because we've been together for 8 years. Like, I would think that he would know, but there's still things that we just have to voice, because or else he's not a mind reader, you know.
Yeah.
So, and that goes both ways. So
it does.
So I think that's a big thing that I would say is a big contribution to a good relationship and a good marriage.
Yeah.
And having ground, like a good foundation to build on, and then you build on in your marriage, because then you start talking about the more important things or the more serious things with, you know, kids, travel, dog, finances, house, all of that. So
right. Well, and I mean, we had to get really good at communicating because of being in a long distance relationship for as long as we were.
Right.
Like, if we didn't have good communication, like, that was our only form of interaction.
Right.
Because we weren't in the same place. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's why it's super important for us, because it was our only lifeline at that time. But
because most of our fights at that time were because of a lack of communication, and then now when we're here, we're obviously, like, I don't think we get into nearly as many fights, because I'm sitting right next to you and I'm telling you what I need, you know.
Right.
Now, I mean, like I said before, we still get aggravated with each other, but most of the time that boils down to stress or us just not having time together, even though we live together, you know. Sometimes we don't have that time together, and it manifests as something else, you know. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I mean, so the second point that we have written down is talking about stress management, and I think that goes along with the communication, because if you don't communicate that you're stressed, then you receive the blowback of your stress when I didn't even know that you were stressed, or I do something that adds to your stress when I didn't know that you were stressed to start with.
Yeah.
And that definitely,
and you're good at hiding that too.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
because you don't like to be. You don't like to need me. Like, you like to be able to. You like to be independent and be able to do your own things. I think.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of times you don't tell me when you're stressed out, and I'm like, "What's wrong?" Nothing. You know.
Yeah.
And then eventually you're like, "I'm just stressed out because I have X amount of things to do," and I was like, "Okay, well, how can I help you, or what?" So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, it really comes down to the communication and saying, hey, this is what's going on. So if I sound like I'm in a bad mood, well, this is what's going on. And that helps you alter your behavior, and not like you're walking around on eggshells, like I can't talk to you when you're stressed, but it just, it keeps it at the top of mind to say, hey, I know that you have this going on, so let me take care of some things that you normally take care of, and I'm going to take care of it without saying, hey, look at me, I'm doing this, but just saying, hey, look,
right.
I'm going to take it upon myself to do something for you, and in hopes that alleviates some stress, even though, I don't go to work with you. Mm-hmm. And so I know a lot of your stress comes from work. And so I can't go to work with you and deal with that stress for you. But
right.
I mean, I have to take it upon myself to make home life as easy as I can in those times.
You do.
Well, but I'm saying, that's the kind of mindset you have to go into when your person is under stress.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I can't go to work for you. I wish I could, because then I could deal with that stress, right. And then whenever you come home, there's no stress, and so.
And I think a lot of times our stress is kind of aligned together, where we're both stressed at the same time. But whenever it does get to be the point where, one of us is stressed, the other person can kind of lend that helping hand and be like what that other person needs, and then it'll flip, because then the other person will get stressed. Like, Friday I had a football game and I was really stressed out because I had a lot of stuff going on at the game, and I just needed a mental break, and he was there for me and was able to give me what I needed to like decompress. And then, now he's back in crunch time. It's Sunday and he's got school tomorrow and work tomorrow, so he's stressed tonight. So I'm going to try to do what I can. I've been trying to do what I can today and then this evening as well, to try to help alleviate the stress by doing things for him that might help him out, so that he can do what he needs to do for school. So I think a relationship is a two-way street. It's not about keeping score or anything like that. It's about just trying to be what your partner needs,
Mm-hmm. And making sure that you're always making sure that you're doing what they need at that moment.
Yeah.
Like it's not a static answer
right.
all the time. I mean, there are parts where, there are parts of the relationship where it's important to be just consistent.
Yeah.
But you have to take the time to make sure that every single day you're what your partner expects from you.
Right. Yeah.
And that kind of flows into our next point that we wanted to talk about, which was like how we keep everything special, especially for the two of us. We've been in a relationship together for a very long time. So how do we keep things moving? How do we make sure that nothing is getting too familiar or comfortable to a point where we're not enjoying it first off, but also taking advantage of that comfort and slipping and making small mistakes and things like that.
I think it looks different these days just because we're older and because we're busy, But I think just doing little things that might, like kind of just the things that we were talking about with stress management that we might be doing to try to help the other person by making their home life easier. I think that's more the normal, like how to keep things special. Like I feel like, because things like if, you do the trash most of the time. So every now and then I'll try to do the trash to, alleviate that from you, or you'll try to do the dishes because I normally try to do the dishes and stuff like that. But then I think when it comes to like, if you're able to and you have time to like really just expressing with your words, how appreciative we are for each other. Like usually just if you're having a really stressful day and you're just cuddling and you're like, man, I just really needed that today. Like I really am grateful that I have you, So I think that's important. And I would say like, I mean, you do a really good job, I think, of making me feel special with like flowers or like just date nights and things like that. Just quality time is important, and words are important to me. So.
Right. Well, and especially, if we have synchronized quality time, we're both like, oh man, we should do something because who knows when that's going to happen again.
Right.
We
had like a Sunday, early afternoon movie day, because Sundays are normally our free day, but it's not really a free day because we still have meal prep and plan, and usually have a big meal on Sundays to eat throughout the week, because on beginning of the week I'm usually off late and he gets off pretty late from work and school, so it's usually still a catch-up day. But if we're able to get a couple hours in of something that's just for us, we try to do that too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's always like the constant fight, just to make sure that, we fight for the quality time and make it quality when we get it.
Yeah.
So.
Would you say there's anything that I didn't mention? For like my side, I guess.
I would say another thing that I think about is like when we get the opportunity to be at home during lunch at the same time.
Yeah.
That's like a smaller version, but just having,
and it's only normally like 15 or 20 minutes, but it's still like enough to like a break from your day, you know.
And just to make sure that when we get that to, like I make sure not to be on my phone when I'm home and that's happening, or making sure that we have like a face-to-face conversation, just because I've gone all morning without talking to you and I'm going to go late into the evening without seeing you again. So just that 10, 15 minutes of, oh man, we're in the same place at the same time. Like making sure that that's lived in and not like scrolling on my phone. So, and that kind of goes into the like making it special part and just keeping it fresh. So, one of the other things that we have written down is like, again, how do we get to appreciate the time that we have together? And that goes into other meal times and making sure that we sit down and have a meal together when we have the opportunity to eat at the same time, and making sure that we get in a prayer together. I think that that's super special and helps connect us after a rough day.
Yeah, because like we might be running crazy, ragged, doing all kinds of things. And some, like Tuesdays, I never eat with him because he doesn't get home until super late. And some days I have, football games and maybe volleyball games. Sometimes he'll eat before me. So like anytime we're able to actually eat together, we try to not be on the go, like eating on a TV tray or eating at the breakfast bar. We try to like really sit down at the dinner table and just enjoy that 10 or 15 minutes to eat together and put the phones away. And like you said, starting off with a prayer just together to just put into perspective, and kind of get our mind right for dinner, if that makes sense. Like where we're not distracted by our phones, or not distracted by work or whatever, and just focusing on us. And we can still talk about work or our day or whatever, but just, I think, shifting our focus into something that's
it's like a tone setter almost, just to make sure that we're taking that quality time seriously and keep going back to it. But it's really important, because without it, I don't know what else we would use to make sure that our quality time is quality. So just always coming up with ways to check myself and make sure that I'm enjoying it. And when we pray together before a meal, like that's a good way to synchronize that, like that we're enjoying it. So and like I said, I mean that changes daily, because who knows who's going to be home when. I mean, it's all moving target. And so is all this advice that we're given. Like our answers may be different 6 months from now.
Right.
And we're only 5-6 months into being married, so we're only just learning the answers. But we take a pretty active role in making sure that we are still adjusting to each other. I mean, I don't feel like I'm a static person, and you're not a static person, and our schedules are definitely not static at all. No. So it's always just a day-to-day, I wouldn't call it a day-to-day struggle, but it's a day-to-day, like, I have to
constant
make
effort.
sure that my energy is devoted to making that right.
Right.
I mean, I can go to work and just sort of go through the motions, but I don't want this to be a going through the motions part of my day.
Yeah.
So
I think I have an idea for the last thing we can talk about. Was
that was all that I had written.
I think we can talk about what I think, like, I guess your best quality you bring into our marriage is. And then you
had that top of mind, so why don't you start with that? Yeah.
I think you're just very, like, sturdy, I guess. Like, you're just like a solid constant that I can, like, rely on. And so, like, when I'm stressed out, like, I know that you're always going to be there for me, and you always just, like, want to take care of me. Like, because in my head, I think of one instance in particular where I was super stressed out, and I don't like to be the person that's stressed out. Like, I feel like I manage my stress pretty well. So whenever I am stressed, like, I try not be stressed, but that's not how that works. So, but in my head, I'm like, well, it's irrational, you know, because I can't control this, you know, because most of the time it's something that I can't control, and, you know, it's anxiety, or, you know, it's unknown of the future, you know. And you, like, were very good at, like, encouraging me and be like, it's okay to be stressed, it's okay, you know, and you just let me cry, and you let me, like, cry it out, and you're like, I think you encouraged me to, like, pray about it, and so, like, you just kind of put in perspective that, like, it's okay to, like, give you some of that responsibility too, like, because I think a lot of times I try to take a lot on myself, and so I just thought that was one of my favorite, like, marriage memories, I guess. Mm-hmm. So that's what I would say.
So yeah, I think the best quality that you bring into what we have is because you're a calendar wizard. You help me stay on track, and you help me understand that when we're going to have a moment of, like, synchronized, not alone time, but synchronized quality time that we can spend together. Mm-hmm. It's always helpful for me to hear that, and that helps order my day. Mm-hmm. Dee wanted something she wanted to say something about quality time that we're not spending with her.
Right.
What I was saying is, knowing that I have quality time in my day with you to look forward to helps me understand, like, how to handle the stresses of the day. So 5 hours of work or 5 hours of school feels a little smaller when I know that there's a 15 or 20 minute lunch break with you on the other end of it.
Positivity.
Yeah, it helps.
Give you something to look forward to.
Yeah, it's like just a positive anchor of the day to say, okay, no matter how bad my day is going, mm-hmm. that's, like, guaranteed.
Right.
And not like, oh, well, if I'm having a bad day at work and then I have to leave work to go to school with nothing in between, like, what's to say that both of those things are not just going to go to pieces, and then it's like, man, I'm going to have a bad day. But I know that if there's a 15 or 20 minute lunch break with you in the middle of that, I can sort of get myself back together and say, okay, well, as bad as that was, this 15 or 20 minutes is great. And then I can prepare
positive
myself.
Things throughout the day.
Yeah. So, I mean, even something that small, mm-hmm. if you look at all the hours of the day, I mean, something that small is enough to keep me going.
Yeah.
So, and that's, you know, I don't want to understate that, because sometimes that's all it takes to have a good day, you know?
Aww.
But I think that wraps up the main topic for the video, and hopefully you guys garner something from that. like I said, the advice that we're giving, it's not static. Like, we're always learning and we're always adapting to it. So, if you guys want to hear another version of this down the road, obviously that would be something that we would be open to. And also, one thing that we talked about that we wanted to say was, because of our scheduling and, we're pretty busy right now, these podcast episodes we find are actually pretty easy to record and easy to edit together. So we would love to put out sort of an all call for any topics that you guys would love to hear us talk about on a podcast style video. We think that those are just really interesting, and we can use that to add content to the channel. So if you guys have any podcast ideas that you would love to hear us discuss, please drop it in the comment section down below. We've done our best to try to get to all of the requests, so don't feel like we're not accessible or that we wouldn't talk about it. We would love to talk about it. And then also with the holidays coming up, we discussed that we would get into sort of some rankings. I think off the back of the NFL videos, everyone's kind of
She's like, you're not giving me enough attention. Bye.
Yeah. With the NFL videos top of mind, like ranking videos are really fun, and I think we would enjoy doing that, especially with the fall holidays coming up. We are planning on doing something for Harry Potter, ranking those movies / books. I haven't read the books, but Hayley would love to tell you all of her knowledge about the books.
I'll finish them soon because I'm reading through them right now. So
yeah,
I'm like more than halfway done with 5. So I should hopefully finish that by December, and we could do it,
Yeah. And then obviously we'll do a Christmas decor video off the back of the fall decor video.
Christmas!
Yeah. So
I love Christmas.
And we have a lot more Christmas decor in general.
No, we don't this year, but we will.
Oh, okay.
Because remember the fall one, I said I went crazy at Home Goods and Michael's, so you made me not go crazy. I would say we do have more Christmas, but not enough Christmas.
Yeah.
We have more Christmas stuff, but I'm a very big Christmas person. So.
Right. So, and also we are still on schedule to do the mid-season review for the NFL content, so that'll be on the channel as well. So we've got plenty of video opportunities on the way, and like I said, we're doing our best to schedule those and make sure that we have the time to put that together, because we want to stay as consistent as we can with our releasing schedule. But
definitely comment down below if there's any other video ideas that y'all have that we didn't mention or that you'd like to see us do. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one.
Yep.
And I think that's all she wrote.
That is all she wrote.
But
so
thank you guys so much for watching. Anything you want to add?
No.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.